Hi everyone. So I just wanted to share my story. And when I was arrested a couple years ago, when I was brought to the jail, the state had classified me as a mental health risk for whatever reason, and so I was placed in a 24-hour lockdown housing unit. And this place that I was in, it was underground. It was underneath the rest of the jail, and it was individual concrete blocks. And they had taken away all of my clothes. I was completely naked. I had no bed. Usually you have like a little mattress of some sort. I had no bed. I had no sheets. And I was given this like 3 foot by 3 foot like orange reflective safety blanket is what they called it. And the reason when I asked why I couldn't have clothes or why I didn't have any sheets is because they said it was a risk that I could hang myself with them. And so I was in this cell, and if you guys have been in jail before, you guys probably know that it's freezing in there. And so most of the time that I was in there, I was trying to figure out the best way to stay warm underneath this tiny blanket, whether to put it as a barrier between me and the concrete or to lay it on top of myself and try to keep warm under there. And like Lolly was saying, I had no human contact. I was fed through this like little door, this cutout in the door where they would push a little tray of food to me. And the fluorescent lights were on 24/7, and I had no idea how long I had been in this area for, whether it was like hours or days or whether it had been a week. And eventually I had petitioned to ask them to put me into general population so I could be with other people. It was really maddening being in there. It was just myself in the cell, but in the cells next to me all day and all night I can hear the people screaming and flushing the toilets over and over, and it's just like a madhouse in there. And it really affected me and my ability to to remember like who I am and my sense of self through all of that. But eventually I was transferred out into a 23-hour lockdown area where I had an hour of this pod time or whatever, which is just another form of solitary that I was forced to endure for like a month until I was released. And now it's been several years since that arrest, and I think about it all the time. I think it still has really affected me, and that is just evidence that the torturous and inhumane nature of solitary and isolation, and in the forms that it comes in. And it's really unfathomable to me to be in that 24-hour lockdown area and to imagine that there's tens and thousands of children and women and men and trans folks that are placed in these solitary units for literally decades, like 40, 50 years at a time. Is really heartbreaking, and they're the reason why we need to keep coming out and keep fighting for them to get them out of these places.